Hello, everybody. My name is Cogline0639. I'm here with
Jefferson Dulaney.
And what did you do today, Jefferson?
I got 5th. I went X1 at the Albuquerque Regional.
And what deck did you do?
I did it with Labyrinth equivalent deck. No, I played Odion.
Cool. All right. Any shout-outs before we go?
Shout out to all the 505. Shout out to Santi. Shout out to Chris. Shout out to my girl. She let me come kind of hang out with the boys. Shout out to all 505, the top. Shout out to just anyone that helped me get cards. Yeah, and just shout out to the community. We are growing, and we have some people that travel. So biggest shout out to the Gaming Metro. Woo!
All right, let's get into it.
All righty. So obviously I played Odion, so you have to play the main things, which is the 3 big dude, 3 man with the mark, and your circuit. This card is terrible, but great all at the same time. You don't want to play multiples because he's kind of a brick because you have to have Temple of the Kings. He has a weird interaction that helps you beat over boards, stuff like that. And then he searches Temple of the Kings. That's about his only use. He's also like kind of an extender, but like I said, very specific circumstances. Man with the Mark's the best card in the deck. It makes things very resilient. If you start with this, Ogre's irrelevant. Many cards are just irrelevant. And then you got your big boy. He just helps with game pushes or like helping push through weird scenarios, basically. And the most common use for him was summoning Typhon over him, so I didn't have to use a silhouette. So then obviously the next best engine in the game is my Fiendsmith engine. It's just extension pretty much. Like you don't use it that much for like Desiree or anything like that. Also gives you another interrupt. You use it for the extension because there's not really extension in the Odion engine. Like you have your normal summon and then in the grind game you have this, but turn 1s, turn 2, like you really don't have an extra way to push. So it's like your extra way to push. It's a way to get to Silhouette. It's your way to get to DDD, just protecting against Bestials or something like that. Once again, Malice is very relevant. Bestials are still relevant, but it helps you play around it. So there's that. And then my 3 hand traps in the hand trap heavy format is Droll. Yugioh is the best deck. Everything plays search. So you play this just to beat it. You make it simple. You make them have simpler boards, so you can just play through it. Because once again, the engine isn't big. It doesn't play. It's not extension out the ass. It's just, you know, here's my one play. Can I push through it? If the answer is yes, I win. If the answer is no, probably don't win. So this just helps simplify board states. Helps you just secure the win. Along with the engine, you obviously have to play the 3 treasures and the 1 terraforming. This card is probably the most important card for you to resolve, especially when searching. It gets you your little extension, so it gets you into him. And he's the way you play around hand traps. He's the one that gets you into your Fiendsmith engine. So what I started doing halfway through the tournament, because I played a whole 2 matches before this, before the tournament, and played the deck, I started prioritizing getting this in rotation because it is an extender and it helps you get into the Fiendsmith line. And then also it's once per turn search, and it's not a once per turn. It's hard activation once per turn, but if you have it on field, you can search twice per turn, so that's cool. Terraforming, it gets you the best card in the deck. Also counts as Temple of the Kings, pretty obvious. And then the board breaker, Slayer, I resolved it half a time, and I say half a time because I just didn't want to deal with the body on the field. So it's there because if you're going second, it helps out boards, but that requires you to draw it. Then obviously the 2 tracked. 2 didn't come up. I always got drolled on the engraver, so it just sat there. It's there, I guess. 2 talents. Hand traps are very relevant, and obviously you get hit on your man with the mark or your field spell, and this just punishes them, or you get drolled or anything like that. I'm setting up on 2 Omni negates anyway, and I just want to know what I have to negate. And then also taking monsters to make my Fiendsmith plays or just pushing for game is valuable. The prosperity, because consistency is key, and going second you need board breakers, and then you're one of Temple of the Kings. This is recyclable, so you don't need more. And like I said, you kind of need to prioritize getting this. So even if you don't have man with the mark, you try to get to this as soon as possible so you can activate your trap sooner, even if you do get hand trapped. Then you have more hand traps, actual hand traps. I know, crazy, huh? 3 Purge. This was all right. Truthfully, I played a lot of Malice and a lot of decks that just this didn't do anything against, so it kind of just sat there. but it's nice because it's a hand trap that doesn't play into talents, and that's what I needed to avoid. The Imperm, once again, doesn't play into talents, anything like that. It's also a trap that you can get engraved turn 1, so you can do your temple. You have Evenly. Evenly is a board breaker, and 90% of the decks do not end on an Omni, and so this just cooks them right away. It's another trap that you can get into the grave, and it's also a card that you can set, and that's why these are more important than hand traps. A lot of times, to get your search off of your temple, you need that second search. You need that second set. So these duoed as set cards to make your life easier to resolve this card. Like I said, this card is the most important card to resolve. Gets you an Omni, and it gets you your extension. So that's why this is the prioritize. You prioritize this over just hand traps. And then you have the engine requirements for all the other engines. You know, the whole 2. I know a lot. You got your continuous traps, the Omnis, and the one that sets the Omnis, and then your detonator. Yeah, to be honest, I think I summoned this like twice. I didn't really get to do silhouette. I got hand trapped a lot, but if I open up one of these or even this with this, it's like 3 interrupts on its own. Super cool. You always side these out going second, so 90% of the time these weren't in my deck, but they're cool, so we play them. And then your Paradise, because Fiendsmith, you have to play Fiendsmith. I will go side deck next because it pairs well. You got your D barrier for any Yugioh. You got Sanctum, Lancia, and Chaos Hunter. Malice is this hardest matchup. If you see these, you have a good chance of winning. They are trap cards. They are bodies. That's what's important. You struggle against Malice the most, and so this is the way you check it, is by playing a bunch of cards in your side deck. Then you have your Lightning Storm and Duster, along with the 3 thrusts. I need alties, let me know. And then, yeah, these just help. Once again, you're playing board breakers, so you can search Thrust, or you can search Evenly, you can search Ultimate Slayer, you can search Terraforming. I caught myself not citing out Terraforming for the one chance that you need Terraforming, and it actually came up, so that's cool. You can also search Purge or anything like that, so if you have weird scenarios where it happens, same thing, Talents or Prosperity. So the deck plays a lot of just normal spells and traps, so you play these and you kind of side out cards that you're kind of indifferent about, which, like I said, is like Ultimate Slayer or something like that. Purges if it's not that good, but you play them just in case. Then your extra deck, because we like playing extra deck. The best card in the deck, Typhon. Okay, that's it. No, I'm just kidding. Like I said, you summon this anytime you're going into boards, and then with Malice and Yugioh, you don't want their resources in the grave, and this is the way you don't put them in the grave. You send them back to the extra deck, same thing with Ultimate Slayer, and you just don't deal with them. Pretend they weren't there, you're okay. They can't hurt you if they're not on the field. Aggregator for the Ultimate Slayer, when you Ultimate Slayer Yugioh, you get to negate their cross, and that's what's important, because then your normal summon Man with the Mark past turn isn't past turn anymore. Chaos Angel, because you play Fiendsmith. Yeah, that's it. You play Fiendsmith. Yep. Link Spider. Your traps are normal monsters. You got your SP. Yeah. I don't think I summoned it. You got your 2 Apophis guys. These are not once per turn, and you can summon them using each other. That's why they're really cool. Going into boards or something like that, you summon this, and you reset your cards even though you're playing through an opponent's board. It's also a good end board piece. My normal end board was like Caesar with this, and then 5 traps, and Droll or Purge or something like that. So this, you kind of prioritize getting it in. It is a 6. It does help you go into SP if you have to. And like I said, you can just keep recycling stuff every single turn. It's a pop. It's just an insane card. You got your good old Silhouette. Thank you to Tommy for giving me this before the tournament. I only wanted to play alties. I got an altie. That's cool. This is supposed to set statue. If not, if you need engine or something like that, you set your other traps. I summoned it once, and it was on accident. The line that I was going for, I was trying to make a Desiree. I completely forgot what I was doing because it got bestialed, and so I ended on this, and it did stuff. You got your Sequence, your Moon, your Requiem, your Agum Day, and your those. I
typical
don't
Fiendsmith
think
stuff.
I summoned this today, except for pushing for game once. This is to make DDD. This you have to be careful with Purge. This is a game shot, otherwise it gets banished off of Prosperity. That's pretty. That's the way you get into it. That's also just there. So yeah, that's the deck. We just learned how to play 2 rounds in. We lose the first round and then we grind back up. Matchups, I played 2 Malice, 2 Yugioh, a Slop, Lightsworn Slop. That's what I lost to round 1. Engine off after engine after engine after engine, and I had 4 normal summons, so that's really fun. Then I played Dinos and Crystron. So it was very diverse, but obviously later rounds you play against meta, and as long as your deck is built towards meta, you can play what you want.
Alrighty, congratulations on the top. I hope to see you guys in the next video.
Have a good one.